So who's the favorite now?
I'm not switching from OKC being the favorite. I understand, some people are starting to waver on that a little bit, and we're caught up in this culture, Dan, in sports. I'm sure you see it all the time. Like when you try to talk positively about one team, people on the other side automatically think somehow you're slamming their team. By me saying I still think Oklahoma City's going to win the series. I'm going to take a shot at Indiana. I thought it would be a 7-game series from the beginning because I had so much respect for Indiana's offense. They definitely got loose the other night. It's the first time in the series they really actually look like themselves offensively. And I think a lot of people think, okay, problem solved. Indiana's figured this out. They've cracked the code and they're good to go now. I don't necessarily agree. I know what that Oklahoma City defense is that I watched all year. They're going to have a hell of a response tonight. And then I think they've got to make some adjustments. I think Mark Daigneault, there's some things he's done so far that I haven't agreed with in this series, and I think he's going to have to make some adjustments, or they could be in trouble. So I think that you're going to see something different from them offensively, and certainly the defensive pressure that we've watched that team put on people all year. I think that's got to be on full display tonight. They understand falling down 3-1 could lead to a dire situation for them.
But can you get to this point in the season with the NBA Finals at stake and outcoach the other coach?
Can you outcoach them? Yeah, I do think that you're not talking about anything where it's like so obvious, but there are going to be decisions made on lineups, on substitution patterns, on what you run at certain times, adjustments to coverages. All right, those are the kind of things that I'm looking at. And I think for Daigneault, who I think's, one of the brightest guys I think I've ever talked to in this league, I didn't agree with the decision right off the bat to go with a smaller lineup and get away from what you differentiated yourself with against most of these teams. The reason you got Hartenstein in the offseason was so that you could play the two big lineup with both guys being very versatile defensively and give teams a different look because you got thrown around in the postseason a year ago. That's the whole reason you got him. And now you gave Denver all kinds of problems with that lineup, those two guys together. And now you get to this series and you get the Indiana Pacers and you took a look at them on film and you go, you know what? I'm kind of worried about them. I'm worried about our ability to get back. I'm worried about our ability to cover them all over the floor, the way they spread you out and shoot the ball. So we're going to adjust. Before the series has started, we're making the first adjustment. It's a 68-win team. I disagreed with it. And he really hasn't gone back to it. They've only played 10 minutes together the entire series. And they're a +7 when they play. Now, it's a very small sample size, but it's a good sample size. And I think Indiana's shooting something like 28% from the field when those two guys are on the floor together. So will it be more tonight? I think there's a good chance. Will he start him again? I don't know. Maybe he's not going to give in on that. Okay, no, I think we're better off the smaller lineup. I think that was a mistake going in. I also think it was a mistake last game playing Cason Wallace as much as you've been playing him. That's 80 minutes in 3 games. He's got 17 total points. I know he's a good on-ball defender. Aaron Wiggins just had 18 points in game 2. Comes back game 3, disappears. Barely play him. 10 minutes, gets 2 shots, non-factor. And they're trapping Shea all over the floor, Dan. I think that there's shots to be had out of those traps. A higher-level offensive player maybe makes Indiana pay for some of that blitzing on Shea. Instead, they had Cason Wallace, who is a far inferior offensive player. And so they only took 22 threes in the game. They get shut down offensively. Is that another adjustment he makes? Maybe Wiggins gets more time again after that great game he had in game 2, and you barely saw him the other night.
Yeah, just trying to figure out also, Richard Jefferson brought this up. It was like 8:30 to go in the fourth quarter of the last game. And he said, look at the body language of Indiana. They were upright at the free throw line. OKC was holding their shorts there. That's not typical in the NBA Finals where some team looks gassed. And maybe that's Indiana's pace that can, kind of wear you down.
Well, there's no question. He's right. They were gassed. I've never seen Shai Gilgeous-Alexander look that fatigued. I mean, every whistle, every stoppage in play in the fourth quarter, he bent over and grabbed his shorts and was taking deep breaths, trying to just compose himself. He had a play where he missed a shot and then ran back with Siakam, and they threw it ahead to Siakam, and he literally, Shai didn't have the energy to even compete with him. He just got out of the way. It was a big play in the game. He let him have a layup uncontested, and it showed, again, his fatigue level. I think part of it for him and the metrics all bore this out. There's ways that you can measure how heavily pressured a guy is in a game. It was the most pressure he's ever faced in a game in terms of distance between him and the defender when he caught the ball, the shortest amount of space he's ever had on the catch, the most pressure he's felt up the floor, an average of 65 feet up the floor pressuring him, more blitzes than he's seen, traps than any other game in the postseason. So he had an easy way to 70 plus points in Oklahoma City. I mean, it really wasn't easy 70. That's not what happened the other night. They targeted him priority 1, 2, and 3. He was it. That's the only name on the whiteboard. We're going to figure everything else out if they start to beat us by giving the ball up. They targeted him. It wore him down. And that's what I think now they're going to see on film. And there'll be an adjustment to that and finding ways for him to conserve a little bit more energy while still being effective.